my name is Cassandra. I am a Reiki Master Practitioner, an intuitive card reader, and an empath. I'm also the founder of Infinite Genesis. Today is Sunday, October 18th, 2015, and this is your weekly Tarot and Oracle card reading. So this video might be a little bit shorter than usual, but we're just going to get right into it. We're going to do a 3-card spread. The first card is your inner atmosphere, the second card is your outer environment, and the third card is our guidance and advice from the Ascended Masters. So let me just give a couple more quick shuffles, and then we'll start drawing the card. Okay, so card number 1, which is our inner atmosphere, is the Magician. So this Magician is sort of a cloaked, hooded figure, and this geometric figure that he's holding is also known as Metatron's cube. And this card represents manifestation. So this is the process of channeling divine energy from the spirit through your crown chakra down through your mind, your heart, all the way out to becoming manifest in the physical realm. So for example, you might start on the spiritual plane with feeling called to do something or to make something, to start a project or plan an event, and then the idea becomes formed in your mind. And so this might require a process of sitting down and writing out, some sort of like organized plan for how you're going to execute the ideal dream, how you're going to manifest this dream, and then after you've done the planning stage, you're emotionally invested in the idea because of all the time and energy that you've put into it. There might be money that you put into the preparations or the process of, the research and design process, whatever it is that you're working on. You're investing time, energy, money, things that hold value for you in your world into this thing. And so you become emotionally invested in this idea, and then over time, you take action. That's a really important part. You take action to manifest this concept in the physical realm, whether it be, creating, like I've got some tulle up here. Sometimes I make tutus. I might feel called to do something creative, and then I'll have the idea, hey, I should make a tutu. And then I sit down, I cut out all the strips, whatever I do to invest time and energy into this project, and I become emotionally invested in it. And then, when I actually take the action of looping the strips of tulle around the elastic waistband, through that process, the project, the final product, which is the tutu, becomes manifest in the material realm. So that's just an example. This can really apply to anything. And so being that it's in the position that it's in as the first card in our reading in the inner atmosphere, it's probably something that's happening more on the spiritual and the intellectual planes. So you might be feeling called or have this dream or have this vision. And so now you're in the ideas and in the planning stage. And so this is what's going on inside of you, is that you're preparing to manifest some sort of dream, some sort of idea on the physical realm. Preparing to start investing a lot of time and energy into the action phase. Let's see. So our outer environment is the Emperor. And the Emperor has to do with authority and power and command, and sort of just being, an authority figure or like an expert in a field. And also the Emperor, so this is the Major Arcana card number 4. I don't know if this is going to be reversed in the video, but this is the Roman numeral 4 in actuality. And And so the emperor has to do with this. It's also associated with this transformative process of, um, of taking an idea and translating that into some sort of material action, material entity, the creative process of manifestation. The emperor also has to do with drawing all of the four elements. So there's a really strong theme here of manifestation, because the four elements then would be fire, which is the spiritual, and then air, which is the intellectual, and water, which is the emotional, and earth, which is the physical. And so the emperor has to do with this total process of manifestation. So this could be some collaborative work that you're doing with other people, in the outer realm, and maybe you're like spearheading this effort, taking a leadership role. Um, and really just taking the initiative to make this dream of yours come to life. And then, wow, so our guidance from the Ascended Masters is the Queen of Discs. And so it's saying, in the midst of this process of manifestation, to not forget to include the feminine energy. And the Queen of Discs also has to do with mastering the material realm, and sort of the nurturing and the love that comes with providing for another being's material wants and needs. This is a very motherly card, and it also has to do with abundance and prosperity. As you can see, she's actually crying diamonds, and so it also evokes the concept that abundance comes, the natural path for abundance and prosperity to come, um, through feminine energy, is emotional abundance and emotional. It's the sense of abundance and prosperity as an emotional state, rather than, it's not necessarily about what you physically or materially have so much as it is about about feeling as though you have enough or more than enough to provide for all of your needs. And the actual, like, the discrete or the finite amount of something that you have is not nearly as relevant to your abundance as your perception of whether or not it is enough. So you know, you could have a glass of water like this, or you could have a tiny little dropper of water, and that tiny little dropper might seem like not enough, but if you believe that it's not enough, you're going to drink it and you're going to still be thirsty. But if you say, this water is all that I have, therefore I know in my heart, and I trust the universe to always provide for me, and because I believe that the universe is always providing for me, I know that the amount of water that I have must be enough. Then you might drink that tiny little dropper full of water and be satisfied. So that's your 3 card reading for this week. And then what we typically do is we also seek a little bit of extra guidance from the goddess Kuan Yin, and she is our goddess of compassion and mercy and protection. And she also is involved in this sort of feminine energy of providence and abundance. She's one of the provider goddesses. And so let's see, it looks like the Shining Lotus is the card that wants to come out from Kuan Yin. This is a really nice card. And so what I typically do is I read a little snippet from the book that came with this deck by Alana Fairchild. And so I'm going to do that today. It says, there are times when it makes sense to be discreet until you find your inner strength so that you feel empowered enough to share your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs without wavering, even in the face of challenge by another. At other times, we benefit ourselves and others by taking a risk and allowing the inner lotus blossom of our true self to shine forth for all to behold. So how this relates to the 3-card spread that we just did is that it's kind of saying, like is going on here in the Magician card, our inner atmosphere. Our dream is still in the planning phase. It's in the preparatory stages, and it's not strong enough to withstand all of the doubts and so, like, naysaying is the word that's coming to mind, of the people around us who might not have a strong enough belief system, who might not feel positively enough to support you in whatever it is that you're doing. Some people just have sort of almost been indoctrinated as they're growing up with this sort of this habitual, this pattern, this belief system of saying, of like pessimism and saying like there's not enough, it's scarcity, there's not enough resources, not everything is a good idea, not everything can happen. And maybe that's true, but you have the power to make your dreams happen, whether someone else believes in them or not. However, if you don't have strong enough shields, like energetic shields, to be able to shake off the doubts that other people might come at with you, or to be able to take those doubts and use them to make your dream more realistic, stronger, and maybe more beneficial for the world. Sometimes your dream can be killed by other people's doubts. And so it's saying just be careful who you share your dreams with. Try only to share what you're planning with people who are going to be supportive, who you can trust to be supportive. And then another thing that's coming to me through the Shining Lotus, the little snippet that we just read, is that this card, I'm now feeling like, well, these two cards go together. So one of these cards is probably you, and it could just be your masculine and your feminine aspect, but I'm feeling like one of these cards is probably you. So you might be the leader, you might be the sort of the powerhouse, the action taker who's helping this project become manifest on the physical realm, or you might be looking for someone who has a tendency to take charge, someone who just carries that sort of energy of authority, an authority figure, someone who feels comfortable taking that role to sort of help you and sort of take charge of this vision and help you build a team that's going to make it come to life. And then, and so of course, then, um, the counterpart, the complement to that would be this sort of feminine energy, this nurturing, sustaining, this is the role of the supporter and the provider. And so this is the person who maybe isn't the person taking action and sort of making things happen all of the time, but this is the person who's always there when something goes wrong to say, hey, it's okay. We've got all the resources that we need, and I believe in this dream, and I think that we have the power that it takes to make it happen. And so this is sort of the emotional provider, and this figure is the action taker. So these might be two aspects of yourself, or perhaps one is you and one is another, like maybe a mother figure or a father figure in your life who's going to be helping you and supporting you on this journey. So thanks for watching. This is your weekly reading for this week. I hope that it's helpful and I hope that you're enjoying it. And thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Namaste.